the applicant, if released on bail, will endanger the public safety, taking into consideration the degree of violence that was used during the commission of the offence.
Danger to society, a flight risk. DJ Warras' alleged killer will not be leaving jail anytime soon. July unrest accused says the riots had nothing to do with freeing Zuma. Magaqa hit was flagged weeks before his death. Undercover operative says police were warned. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent.
Overwhelming evidence has sunk the bail bid of the man accused of orchestrating the murder of DJ Warras. Soweto taxi boss Victor Majola was denied bail in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court this morning. The 44-year-old is accused of masterminding the killing of Warwick Stock, shot dead in Joburg CBD on the 16th of December. The court heard Majola was identified by witness as being at the scene earlier that day, seated with the gunman. Magistrate Annalise Tlapi ruled that Majola poses a risk to society and should remain in custody.
It is apparent to this court that the state has a strong case, if not overwhelming case, against the applicant, as the applicant was positively identified at the ID parade. There is the witness who saw him at the scene of crime as he was seated with the shooter.
An undercover intelligence operative has told the Madlanga Commission he knew about a plot to kill former ANC Youth League Secretary-General Sindiso Magaqa weeks before he was assassinated. The operative, known as Witness E and currently under protection, says he was alerted to the plan in mid-2017 and raised it with his superiors.
In addition to informing them about the assassination plot, I also propose some steps that we can take as the police to prevent the murder or to save Magaqa's life. And they did not want to listen to me.
Magaqa was shot dead near his home in September 2017. Witness E told the commissioner he later briefed Police Minister Senzo Mchunu in December 2024, naming those he says were behind the killing. Accused July 2021 unrest instigator Bonginkosi Kanyile has told the Durban High Court the riots had nothing to do with his call for former President Jacob Zuma to be released from prison. Kanyile, a former Fees Must Fall activist, is on trial on charges of incitement to commit public violence and contravening the Disaster Management Act. He took the stand today, denying claims that he fueled the looting during the unrest.
No. There's no one who would argue and say, Kanyile, because of seeing you or speaking at ShopRite or that area at the taxi. Then I went to a mall, I took a refrigerator, or I bent a warehouse, or I bent a street. None whatsoever. In fact, that thing shocked most of us, all of us. I've never predicted it in my life that it would happen.
Kanyile was arrested in 2022 in Gauteng, where he was studying law, after the Hawks rounded up dozens of suspects linked to the July unrest. Now, outgoing NPA head Shamila Batohi is done talking for now. She won't testify again at the inquiry into Johannesburg prosecution's boss, Andrew Chauke. Batohi walked out of her testimony in December, saying she needed legal advice after a tough cross-examination that ended with a warning from the inquiry panel. She is the main complainant, accusing Chauke of politically motivated prosecutorial decisions linked to the prosecution of former KZN Hawks boss Johan Boysen and members of the Cato Manor unit. Her request for senior and junior counsel was rejected by the Solicitor General and Justice Minister Mameloko Kubai, who suggested she rely on NPA lawyers already involved. Action SA is bulking up. The party has announced a merger with two more movements as it repositions itself ahead of local government elections expected before the end of the year. Under its so-called Green Umbrella Project, Action SA has folded in the Northwest-based Zanian Independent Community Movement and the Creatives Congress Movement. Party President Herman Mashaba says the expansion is about building momentum. Knysna's water crunch is starting to scare off tourists, and that's bad news for a town that lives off visitors. Fears of a possible day zero are already triggering cancellations, with guest houses warning the uncertainty is hurting bookings and livelihoods.
So we had a lot of cancellations in December of locals having heard the bad news and not wanting to come. So the word is not pleasant because everyone seems to be panicking a lot.
Today, a federal judge will hear arguments on whether Minnesota's stepped-up immigration enforcement should be paused after 2 US citizens were shot dead by federal agents in that city. The death of Renee Good triggered the state's lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security earlier this month. Donald Trump has blamed Democratic leaders in Minnesota, accusing so-called sanctuary cities of creating chaos. Extreme weather is reshaping events across the region. In Australia, some Australian Day celebrations have been cancelled as a severe heatwave grips most of the country. Temperatures are expected to climb into the high 40s. And in Indonesia, the death toll from a landslide has risen to 17 after heavy rain sent mud and debris into villages, burying homes and forcing evacuations. Rescuers are still searching for missing people. The disaster follows earlier warnings from the government about the role deforestation has played in worsening floods and landslides in Sumatra. Good to have you with us today. See you again tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.